Leprosy, a disease as old as civilization.
It's a disease which ideally should not exist by now.
Still wreaking havoc in the lives of many.
If you see my foot here, there's a plastic inside, both legs. I was in wheelchair for 6 months without walking.
Declared an eliminated disease years ago.
Cases of leprosy are emerging again in Ghana.
Leprosy is neglected tropical disease caused by the slow-growing bacterium called Mycobacterium leprae that causes and spreads the disease when someone with an active case sneezes or coughs. Treatment of the disease has been available since 1995, but the condition keeps destroying lives and livelihoods around Ghana. My name is Seth Kwame Boatin, and in this documentary, I explore the issues around the spread of the disease in Ghana and why you must be concerned. Sadly, all the three have developed various mental illnesses. Their mother is not only worried about the disability leprosy has caused the family, but also the stigma from the community. It is not surprising this woman and her family wish to move out of this place. They all live in a small mud house with holes in the roof. With no mat or no mattress, one of the daughters, Doris, spreads a piece of cloth on the dusty floor and sleeps. In Ghana today, though, there are some individuals fighting to eradicate not only the disease, but the associated poverty as well.
Some people need surgeries. Some people, if let's say they have problems with sensation under their feet and it is permanent nerve damage, it means for the rest of their lives, they are going to need protective footwear. Someone has to pay for that. They need at least, roughly, averagely 2 changes of that footwear every year. Someone has to provide that. In the past, we used to have an orthopedic unit where we produced some of these things and distributed them free to some clients that needed them. Now the thing is, after eliminating the disease, integrating into the health system, that vertical funding for some of those things is not coming anymore. So you identify the disability, the deformity, but you are not able to help the patient address that.
I'm a Catholic priest. I follow the path of Christ. And Christ took care of the sick, the poor, the needy, the marginalized. That's my vocation. It's my vocation. And I thank God for the family I was brought up in. My mother loved the poor and the needy. I think she passed it on to me. and she's always helping people in need. She would help anybody who was in need. So she passed it on to me, and I just felt when I was ordained, this is my work. That, I cannot see somebody suffering.
Over the past 50 years, he has served in Ghana as a Catholic priest at the Christ the King parish in Accra. Reverend Father Campbell has not only become a father to his congregants, but a father to the vulnerable too. Since 1977, he has been supporting the Withered Leprosarium in Accra. He wishes all, especially families of persons with leprosy, will show them enough love.
Mr. Quarty, he was 90, blind, and he said, Father, let me not die in hospital. I want to die in wager. So when he died, I went and looked at his wardrobe and saw beautiful up and down. I said, he can wear that. So the next day I came back to do the funeral, and there he was dressed in a beautiful suit. I said, his man has never been in a suit before in his life. Where'd they get the suit from? You know, bad news travels fast. And his family came and put him in a suit, and I bought a coffin. During the Mass, they were there with their video cameras and the rest, taking photographs and shots. And I told the family, I said, thank you for coming. But it's a pity you have to wait till he dies before you see him. Hey, afterwards, they wouldn't talk to me. They said I insulted them. So I took him in my car. I put the coffin in my car and took him off, and we buried him. We came back, and the family had a big pickup full of drink, which they shared among themselves. I wasn't given a bottle of water, not even a bottle of water.
Back to Abena Donko and her 3 children suffering from leprosy. Today, their complaints have been heard. A day after our interview with them, they have been transported from their village to the Ankafo Leprosarium for proper medical attention. Dr. Emmanuel Boachi is one of the doctors who will be attending to them.
Some of them, based on the level of disability, they may need surgical operations.
Okay.
Sometimes they have ulcers which have affected the bones.
Yeah, because theirs appear to be at that level.
Yes, it appears to have progressed to the bones, so they may need surgery to remove those dead pieces of bone. It's called sequestrectomies. Some of them may need amputations, actually, and then probably
and it appears in their case that is what they're going to
because one of them actually has this cauliflower-looking ulcer that looks like, you know, when you have an ulcer for a long time, as the body attempts to heal it, it breaks down. Sometimes it becomes a cancer. It becomes a skin cancer. And when it gets to that level, you actually need an urgent amputation, not just to save the limb, but to save your life, or to save the patient's life.
After 5 months of thorough medical treatment, including surgeries, each of the 3 siblings suffered an amputation. The youngest, Rollins, lost his left leg, while his brother Frank's right leg was removed. Their sister, Doris, lost both legs.
The first point of preventing disability or deformities is to get the cases early. Get them before disability sets in. Because when you start the treatment, which we have, you arrest the level. So in 2017, 10% of our cases had already had permanent disability by the time we diagnosed them. In 2018, it went up to 12.38%. But last year, it's come down to 5.3. We are finding the cases earlier.
There are, however, some who delayed and so suffered life-threatening disabilities. The complications from this killed them. Not far from the Ankafo Leprosarium, a cemetery was created for such people.
So I've been shown a place where one of them was buried, and I can see the prosthetic leg. I want to see for myself. So, oh wow. So this is artificial leg. It means somebody with a condition who got his or her leg amputated was buried here. And because, you know, it's artificial, this cannot decompose. That is why after so many years, we can still see the artificial leg here. And we are in this cemetery, as I told you earlier. Wow. And I can see this another thing. How could this be? Oh, okay. Wow. Let me use mine. And I can see both sandals. So we have come to another tomb, and you can see the person died many years ago, but his two sandals are still here, and his clutches are also available. They have not rotten yet, decomposed yet. Oh, so this is a true story. Wow. So when they bury the person, they put these things on the tomb. Wow. Let's see, maybe a last one. We have come to a third tomb, and the clutches are also still on the tomb. So that's a reality. And initially, when he was explaining to me, I was thinking, wow, but I've come, seeing is believing, and I've come to see for myself what happened many years here in the central region, the hundreds who died through the injuries, the ulcers that they suffered, and the lack of medication. But the story is not the same today. Now there is treatment, so they will tell you that if you seek early treatment, you can be cured. And if you keep yourself well and you try and prevent yourself from getting injuries and all those things, you will not suffer what we saw the three in that village suffered. So this is a reality, and leprosy is something that we must take very seriously in this country. We must, as a media, we must place premium on talking about it, creating awareness, letting the world know we are not out of the woods yet, and we must do more to save our people.
Kofi Nyako, who led me to the cemetery, considers himself lucky for not being part of the many who died from leprosy-related complications. He's 49 years old now, but he was only 8 years when he was diagnosed with the disease.
It took me 13 years before I was diagnosed.
Why?
Most of the time I say the headmaster of my school was the one, if not lack of knowledge about this disease, he should have saved me. Because I remember most of the time, he just take me to his office, just put his hands on where the patches are, especially when I started having these deformities and a lot of challenges on my hands and my feet. But he knew nothing about these diseases. Until this merchant came to my village and noticed it and helped me to come to the hospital.
Kofi has suffered the worst form of stigma and tells me it was not easy.
In fact, at first, I thought, why me? I said to myself, why me? Because none of my family have this kind of diseases. Even in the district, even in my village up to now, no one have got it. Then why me? If you see my foot here, there's a plastic inside, both legs. I was in wheelchair for 6 months without walking. These missionaries were those who were supporting me here and there. It wasn't easy. So I was in wheelchair for 6 months before I started learning how to walk again.
At both the Wager and Ankafu leprosariums, there are scores of people cured of leprosy for many years now, but remain within the facility, staying away from the unfriendly world out there.
And Mr. Agri, you're also 90 years.
Yes,
90. We thank God for the gift of your life. We thank God He's blessed you for all these years. They cannot go home because they'll be stigmatized if they go home. Even though they're not active. They're not active. They show signs of leprosy, lost fingers and lost nose and things. But, you know, the family don't want to take them home because it's a disgrace. My father is a leper, my mother is a leper. I cannot take them home. And that's been the stigma. That's been our biggest problem in all the years I've taken care of Wager leprosarium.
The effects of stigma range from self-isolation, self-stigma, deteriorating ill health, and even death.
Leprosy is one disease that has a cure, but there's a lot of stigma attached to it for no good reason but fears, and I think it's historical. And a lot of people, because of the stigma, will hide and will not go in for the necessary tests and will not confess that this is the problem. And so it gets too late to stop the disability and all of that.
That is Ghana's Vice President, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia. Across Ghana, he is known for his love for economics and numbers. But in recent times, his soft spot for the vulnerable have been clearly felt by many, especially persons suffering from or cured of leprosy.
God has given me the opportunity to be in this position, and we could use it to highlight the plight of cured lepers in this country and to reduce the stigma. So when I moved into my official residence as vice president, the housewarming party was with, I invited the lepers from all over to join me to open the house and sort of let the public know that, you know, it's okay to invite lepers into your home, to live with lepers. They are cured lepers. They're just people that you want to hug and to love. You know, they're not people you want to drive away. These, I guess, it could be anybody. It could be someone from my family.
They feel so happy. I mean, for the vice president to invite him twice to his house for a meal, himself and his wife, and he hugs them, shakes hands with them. You know, this is a great boost for them. They realize, you know, we're not that bad then. You know, we're not that bad, but this gives them great encouragement in every way.
Dr. Bawumia believes such persons get empowered through the love you and I show them.
Every New Year, I have a party for them at home. So far, this is what I've been trying to do. And they're very happy. They feel loved. They feel accepted. You know, there are so many people who have been excluded in the society. And lepers are one group. And we have to do as much as possible to build an inclusive society. And this is really something that the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, keeps harping on about, that he wants to build a prosperous modern society, but he doesn't want to leave anybody behind in building that prosperous. So we should make sure we have an inclusive society, which means, you know, nobody should be left behind. And it is that thinking of inclusiveness that is behind the social interventions that the President is making.
When persons who have suffered leprosy get empowered and overcome societal discrimination, they do exploit. A clear case is Kofi Nyako, who didn't allow the disabilities he suffered to dictate his life. He conquered it, and now it has opened an entirely new opportunity to him. As a leprosy advocate, he is sought after everywhere.
Though I had these diseases, but if I go to my village, I'm more than president. Even at the Kotoka airport, the immigration officer called me world traveler. Sometimes I go outside 5 times a year. Sometimes a month I have to travel twice outside. So sometimes it's, and because of the diseases, I'm able to help thousands of people, internationally and locally.
How do you help them?
I use myself. For now, I'm also board member of World Health Organization. I was in London Bush House, CNN, India, Brazil, all over the world. I've been traveling all over the world to help people to understand if someone got into such situation, how they can help. Because with a little help from people, you can be somebody.
In 2018, the world over, 208,619 new leprosy cases were recorded. That is according to figures from 159 countries from 6 World Health Organization regions. Dr. Benedict Kwao has figures specific to Ghana.
World over, for the last 15 to 18 years, the world has the new cases are coming down, but they've more or less stagnated around 200,000 cases all over the world. It's like almost like a flat line. And Ghana is also coming down, but very, very slowly. In 2018, over the year, we had 276 new cases. In 2019, over the whole year, we had 279 new cases. This year, when you check our DIMS reports from the various regions, the reports we've received, between January and February, we have 17 new cases.
Across the country?
Across the country.
This is despite the fact that in 1998, Ghana eliminated leprosy at the national level as a public health problem. If so, why are we recording new cases of leprosy? Dr. Kwao has some answers.
The elimination didn't mean zero. The elimination meant that our prevalence of leprosy went below 1 per 10,000 population. Ghana achieved this in 19. By 2005, all our regions had gone below this elimination threshold. Nationally right now, our prevalence rate is not 1, it's 0.10. Meaning that whatever threshold we set, we've continued to come down, and we are 10 times lower than the threshold which we set. So our elimination is not under threat. It is just that in spite of the elimination, because of the way the disease works, we knew we'll still get new cases. Why do I say so? The disease has a long incubation period, averagely 2 to 8 years, but can take as far as 20 or even 30 years to show forth. So I can get infected today, and I am waiting 20 years for the patch to appear. So that the point at which we declared elimination, we were still going to see cases that have been infected before that will show up later on.
We have to work hard on this. We need to do, that's why we want to build, a laboratory up in the north and help them, to do more work in the north to get, because even 279 could even be too small, that people aren't reporting. They're afraid to come and report. So we need to do more work in these places so we get the people and be able to eliminate it once and for all. We can do it. We can do it. And we have plans now that we've got to be able to build laboratories and be able to find out who has leprosy, who hasn't. Because leprosy can be cured within 6 months. If you come and say, look, I've got leprosy, and they give you the medicine, within 6 months you're cured.
Residents of cities like Accra might be thinking leprosy is far from them. Well, it is so close to everyone, possibly the person next door or the person seated next to you. In 2019, 17 new cases were reported in the Greater Accra region.
I believe if we engage the media like you are doing, and then we have advocates, and we spread a lot of the information, especially through our CHIPS system, that is a community-based health planning and services, which brings services close to the clients. And if our officers are visiting these women at their homes and giving them education, then I think with continuous education using all available outlets, such mentality can be changed, which can improve some of
the question is, do we need to put in so much effort so that frontline health workers can identify leprosy when there may be such a rare chance of them seeing it? I still think it's important, but it needs to be categorized within the scope of skin diseases. So if we put that firmly within the scope of skin diseases and alert health professionals to consider leprosy when they see any skin conditions that match the profile, it would help a lot. Also, perhaps extra focus on areas which are known to be endemic for leprosy would be very important, so that when people in these areas see that disease, they would automatically think leprosy.
It's an opportunity to tell Ghanaians, that let's not stigmatize people who suffer from leprosy and who have been cured and so on. Let's love them. Let's show them a lot of love. Let's help them. And there's nothing to fear from a cured leper.
In as much as persons with leprosy need your love, they also need your financial support, since some of the disabilities they suffer make it difficult for them to engage in any economic activity. Try your possible best not to discriminate or stigmatize persons with the condition, because it can happen to you too.
You're also 90 years.
Yes,
90. We thank God for the gift of your life. We thank God He's blessed you for all these years. 90.
Yes.
And how do you feel?
Oh, I feel all right.
You feel all right?
Through God's power.
This is Seth Kwame Boateng
Thank you.
for JoyNews.
Clap for yourselves. Clap for yourselves.